third episode of Deals with Heels, a podcast where female entrepreneurs thrive, and we promote and empower female entrepreneurs to be their best and to live their best life. And we aren't opposed to male entrepreneurs. I'm sure they will learn a lot from our tips on the show as well, but they will learn it from females. We are only going to have female guests, and our perspective is always going to be as a female entrepreneur, and we are committed to empowering women in that way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those that we both have grown up in areas where women are not so kind to each other. And this time around, it is all about supporting and uplifting and being there when, the community needs us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We must band together as the queens and goddesses that we are.
Absolutely.
Today's episode is about the third episode in our Mindset series, and it specifically talking about positive versus negative mindset. Mm-hmm. Christina and I got together because of our common mindset. We have both been on a similar spiritual journey, taking different roads to the same destination.
Yes.
And here we sit together. And I think both of us have a pretty positive mindset without, I think a really positive or negative mindset really is what you complement it with.
Oh, yes.
I think it's impossible to maintain a positive mindset completely. And I think that when I try to do that, it doesn't feel right.
Oh, no. I mean, it's just almost delusional, Yes, it's spinning that negative into something positive, but it's, you can't just be chippers and, you've got to give yourself grace and downtime.
That's not reality. Yeah. I think it's more, for me, my part of having a positive attitude is I always try to look at the bright side and try to find a nugget of something good in there.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen I saw a video, I'm sure it was probably on TikTok when I was not working and I should have been. See? Can I give myself grace about that? Because this was a good video. And it was, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was talking about, he had a mentor, and no matter when somebody would come and tell them, oh my gosh, I wrecked my car, and he would say, good. Yeah. His response to everything was good.
Yeah.
And his point was, there is something good in every tragedy. And so if you look, maybe the only thing good is that I finally learned the damn lesson and the universe didn't have to try to teach it to me ever again. Yes. That's good enough.
Oh, absolutely. When you have, especially growing up, having a positive mindset has gotten me through a lot of negative things,
It has. I think a lot of times we use it maybe as a coping mechanism, and it works. It can get you through some really dark times to just focus on, I'm just focusing on the positive. I'm letting go of that negativity. Mm-hmm. And it works.
Oh, it really, really does. Absolutely. So, hi, everyone. My name is Christina, and I am going to talk a little bit on that negative side. So it's one of those, like we were talking on the last episode about scarcity and the growth, is when you have that negative mindset, like, how can I afford this? Or, I'm never going to be good enough. Well, guess what? You are telling yourself that. So subconsciously,
you're telling the universe that too.
Yes. And so guess what? Like attracts like, good or bad, attracts like. And that's where so much of that negative mindset comes from, because they don't see the good in anything, because they're still in that victim mentality. They're still in flight or flight. And it's not a fun place to be. But also it's one of those that sometimes you need to process through the negative in order to have that positive mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think growing your business as an entrepreneur, a negative mindset can be fatal for your business.
Oh, yeah. And that's why so many fail so soon, is because they give up before the magic has truly happened.
So if I sit down, I mean, I'll almost give anybody 30 minutes of my time as a marketing person, right? Sometimes I get a little chit-chatty and go over even.
Debra getting chit-chatty? Never.
I'm so shocked about that. But you can tell when you talk to someone because, well, have you tried this? Well, that doesn't work for me because of this. Well, what if, well, no, I just can't. Nope. They don't even sometimes you finish your suggestion and here I am, an expert, right? I mean, I'm definitely good at what I do. And I have had people argue with me about it, whether that's a good tactic or not. And that's a negative mindset, even if it's not a tactic that I use very often, let's say. I'm still interested in hearing how they're using it and how it's working for them. Because just because it didn't work for me or that client doesn't mean it's not working for you. And what message are you doing and using that's different? And who's your target audience? If it's working for you, I have questions. Rather than having obstacles, I have questions. I want to learn. I want to know why. Why is it working? Why isn't it working for me? And I can be annoying with those questions sometimes, but I ask them in a very specific way so that you have to answer them. And I've asked you those questions before about a campaign. And I like to say, and how is this going to make money?
Yes.
How does this translate to sales?
And you've got to have that. You've got to know your ideal client and know. And without looking at it from the negative side. So in my business, it's, well, I can't afford that. Or I've tried that. That didn't work.
Or I can't throw that away.
Oh, yes. That one's a big one, and it really is. Basically, your subconscious was formed between 7 and 14. So you have the theta state from 0 to 4. And then you go kind of in a little bit more where you're really starting not to be a sponge. But then that 7 to 14. So if you take a good hard look where you were at your life at 7 to 14, it can really determine how your mindset is going to work in the future without you taking massive action to change that,
And let me just say, I've raised 5 children and maybe not 7, but I'm going to say 11 to 14, middle school, AKA purgatory, bullying. Girls become super self-conscious about their bodies and how they're changing. And it is a difficult time for all of us during that. And it is super easy to have those mindset get kind of ingrained in you and worried. And I definitely can remember being bullied. In fact, I was called ugly when I was in the 5th grade and 6th grade. And I never felt ugly, but I was called ugly. And I could have gotten easily into that mindset. But what it did a lot of times made me shy back and not be outspoken and draw attention to myself because they felt that way. I didn't feel that way necessarily. And so that mindset I carried through and had to step out of my shell, so to speak, and let my voice be heard, which isn't always easy to do.
Oh, absolutely.
All the way back to 5th grade. Reaching back, girl, reaching back.
Yes. I've had a lot of things happen in my past to really determine a lot of, poor me mentality and having that negative. But I will always say, I seem to persevere. I always kept going.
Survivor, man.
Yes.
Survivor.
And, really just listening the way you're talking to yourself, and making sure that we heal from, that 5th grade self, and making sure that when we are talking to ourselves and talking to our clients and talking to other women entrepreneurs, it's being in that positive versus that negative mindset, like, and really embracing where you said, well, have you tried this? Well, no, that doesn't work for me. Oh, are you sure? We've tried everything, and that's really where it could really determine the success or failure of your business.
You can see even on some of the women entrepreneur pages that I know you are on those too.
And, yes.
And I engage in conversation on there if I feel a connection to the person and the question that they're answering. A lot of times I see a lot of questions that are very negative when they're the way they're posed. Like, I'm doing everything and nothing's working for me and I don't understand. Please look at my stuff and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Mm-hmm. And really what you're doing wrong is you're not listening to yourself.
Yes.
You're the one that knows what is best for your business. You're the one who knows your business. Mm-hmm. I don't know the decluttering business, so I ask questions and then I have suggestions, but I really walk you up to what that is rather than dictate to you what it is, because I don't know specifically.
And that's where, it's so good to know this with our clients, because we can educate them and get them out of that negative mindset just by the way we are talking to them versus what they're talking to us, because we know that they're at that level. And so it really helps us, especially those rhetorical questions, that they have to do some digging and actually think and understand, oh, wow, I cannot believe I just said that.
And let me tell you, from a sales and marketing perspective, knowing your client, it is everything. It is the key. If you know your client and your potential client's mindset, come and tell me, we're about to make some money, because we're going to sell some stuff to them. That is the hardest thing that people have, is really knowing who their client is.
Yes.
I often have a discussion with someone about, well, I just knew I was going to be selling to realtors or whoever it is, and I just haven't sold to them at all, so I was wrong. Well, you probably weren't wrong.
Yeah.
That probably is a good target. What's wrong is your message and where you're targeting, and those are the things that are likely wrong. Not that target's
and
wrong.
You got to be able to look at it from different areas and different perspectives. It's not just a one size fits all.
Yeah, when you hit that obstacle, I always recommend stepping back from it a moment and try to think of it from a problem solving point of view, as opposed to a reaction to it. Now, you may have an initial reaction. Lord knows we all will say when something happens, it's that immediate, damn,
Yep.
But problem solve out of it. That's growth. That's positive mindset.
Oh, yeah. And we will tell each other this till we are blue in the face. I'm all about hearing your problems. I'm all about being there to support you. I'm all about making sure that you got a couch to lay on. But we're going to do that. We're going to cry it out. We're going to dance it out. And then we're going to move forward and we're going to figure out the solution to fix the problem.
That's right. I mean, the third time we're having a discussion about it, we better be talking about solutions, because I can't exist in that scarcity negative mindset. It literally makes me feel ill.
Yes, it does, because
we're out of it.
We really are. Because it does. It makes you completely ill.
It really makes me not feel well. So I want to talk about our segment that we're really proud of and that really embodies our mission.
Absolutely.
It really does.
It's how we got together.
It is. It's a great story. When, Christina and I knew each other from seeing each other out networking, but we had not had our one-to-one. And we're going to go into in depth in our second series is on networking. And we met networking. Yes. We're both successful networkers, and grew our business that way. So that'll be a great series that you'll be able to watch and listen to later. But we found ourselves out, and then we had our one-to-one and just clicked. We were on our similar path. And so one of the things that we would do, we noticed we both wear heels almost every day. That's the name, Deals with Heels, because it represents us. we don't expect you guys to wear heels. We expect you to wear the ones that make you feel comfortable and make you feel powerful and confident.
Right.
But what we would do when we did something good, and for me, it was usually about closing an actual deal, but not always. And we would take a picture of our heel, our foot, just that, nothing else usually. Sometimes mine was in the car.
Yeah. Mine was in the car a lot. Like, I'm really realizing I stay in the car.
The car is right by the accelerator because we're about to press the gas. And that was a key that we both knew we had done something good.
Yes.
And so that is what we want to encourage you guys to do. Every show, we are going to have a segment that is titled Show Us Your Deals. Deals, show us both. Show us your deals and heels. And the way it works is you take a picture of your heel, and it can be any type of heel, stiletto, wedge, princess, flat, combat boot, we don't care. And post it on social media, giving an explanation of the good thing that you did. And by deal, it could be anything. Whatever you're proud of, an accomplishment. Maybe you did close your biggest client. Maybe you sold more in advertising than you ever have. Maybe you overcame your negative mindset, whatever it is.
Maybe you manifested your dream home, whatever the case may be, just send it to us.
Send it with the hashtag Deals with Heels. And we are monitoring the hashtag, and we are going to choose Queen of the Week that we showcase, maybe two, kind of depends, but showcase their accomplishments. We will tag their website if they want us to in our show notes and really highlight what they've done that's good so that we can all learn from what they've done and they've accomplished. It's a big part of what we do. We're going to send a swag bag, some Deals with Heels merchandise out to the Queen of the Week also. So ladies, show us your deals.
So this next series is all about the accountability, and we call it the key to accountability. Like I said, we'll get in that story a little bit later, but it truthfully is, such another memorable, and a lot of people don't even realize that we have not even been friends for that long. No. I mean, we've just been in each other's lives about 3.5, 4 months, know, and so this podcast, everything and it is truthfully a dream come true. And this is the most important thing was the accountability of each other and holding ourselves to that standard.
And it's just a great example of when the mindset clicks and you see it and you feel it and it feels so right, you got to act and move forward. Mm-hmm. And look where we are.
Yes,
absolutely.
And it is so important to really reflect on, your accountability and your positive mindset. You can't just, yes, you can fake it till you make it all day long. But also there becomes a reality of that as well. And, being able to show yourself grace. Yes, it's okay to not feel good and have a bad day. Rest, that is where that positive, your negative mindset actually is saying, keep going, keep working until you end up on the couch.
That would be me. That's my negative mindset is I push myself a little too hard.
Yes. So being in that positive mindset of knowing, hey, I need a break, and being able to grace yourself with that and having that positivity and getting well, super quick and knowing that, okay, I'm going to rest. That way I can be better for tomorrow.
I think I agree completely. And I am grateful every time you hold me accountable to that. I also think that people have a tendency to overreact to be positive. And I know we've all been around people and they exude this positivity that comes out and they're like that all the time. Every time you see them, we both know that that's not normal. No one is like that. And I think sometimes it's a survival mechanism and maybe they're completely in survival mode when they're doing it, but toxic positivity.
Yes.
Somebody that it's not reality based. They're almost, as you say, delusional about it.
Because they're not being true. It's not that they're not being true to themselves, but it's all surface level. You know, like we've all had some kind of trauma, and it's just how we view it and be able to help that, use that trauma, use that negative experience and to be able to turn it into a positive.
Absolutely. And
just being your authentic, self.
Right. I think sometimes it's all I can do to get through the day kind of positivity. And if that's what it is, then I understand, but you've got to be doing the spiritual growth as well.
Yes.
So that, because that's not a solution. And it's not a true positive attitude. It's survival.
Yes.
It's survival instinct, and it does work, but it's not permanent and it's not forever. You have to have that growth that goes with it.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we've come to the end of episode 3. Can you believe it?
It's still every day. I cannot believe that this is our life and, just how much that we have grown in just a short amount of time. And I am so excited to share with our community all the amazing things that are coming.
And we have a great episode next. Our next episode, we have our sponsor. She is the sponsor of our Mindset series.
Yes.
She owns Elysian Wellness and Aesthetics, Dr. Lori, and she is going to come and be our guest in episode 4 for entrepreneurial mindset.
And that's the perfect episode for this.
It really is for her. She is a badass female entrepreneur. She's worked.
If you don't know her, you definitely do want to get to know her. She is amazing at what she does. And, she's only been in it, 4 years? Yes.
Having her own business. Yes. 4 years.
And she's a really amazing lady.
It is. And it's impressive. She has a great positive attitude. She has an entrepreneurial mindset for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that you guys will all be as impressed with her as we are. And I encourage you to go take a look at her website. We'll have a link in our show notes and see all of the great things that she does to empower women every day.
Oh, yes.
By making them find their own beauty and their own inner beauty. I am a client, and I will tell you that she focuses on what makes me feel beautiful. It's like my favorite diamond facial, the diamond glow facial that it always makes me. I've yet to get one where somebody the next day didn't say, "Wow, you look so pretty."
Oh yes, those are the best.
I look forward to that. The entrepreneurial episode, our 4th in the series, is the next one, and. Right. We all want to have an entrepreneur. We're entrepreneurs. So,
yes. And being women entrepreneurs, with this entrepreneurial mindset, it's truly incredible.
It is. And we're truly grateful for all of you and for Dr. Lori for sponsoring our Mindset series. And please take a look at her website. You can reach it from our website or from our show notes as well.
And please subscribe, like, download, share, anything that. And we definitely want you to show us your deals.